and like strutting around, enjoying the suppression of the peons, the poor people of Mexico. They call them peons or peasants. And I'm not acting like a peasant. I don't want to be a slave. I don't want to be overrun. I don't want to be dominated. I don't want to live in North Korea. I don't want to live in Guatemala. I don't want to live in Rhodesia or Zimbabwe or whatever its name is this week. How ridiculous that you don't want to live under that to keep you safe from Al-Qaeda, who they publicly run. And I told you, now the U.S. ambassador of the UN, Susan Rice, came out. We played the clip first hour. She said, yeah, this is about toppling Assad. We're giving them weapons to do that. They're giving them to Al-Qaeda, folks. They run them. They'll do a fake Samantha Powers. Teleprompter free, folks. I get names scrambled. Why did I say Susan Powers? Susan. Yeah, they're both State Department. I know. I get them all conflated. They're all a bunch of wild-eyed looking women. I know that. Now, all of this is going on, and then you see this video, and I want to reach out to the police, but they've been federalized, and they've been trained. Every single American, especially some of these state police groups, is a cadet coming up to get issued their uniform at boot camp. And I'm sorry. The government is illegitimate. It's out of control. It's a joke. It's a fraud. And it's not doing all this to protect us. And you are being told to act like this to create a culture of oppression so the people are scared of the police so that it can be an us against them mentality. And I'm not going to put up with it anymore. I'm tired of it. Illinois cop loses it as a driver attempts to exercise rights at unconstitutional checkpoint. Whacked out officer rips open car door and yells like drill sergeant. An enraged police officer in Illinois was caught on camera during an exchange Friday with a driver who attempted to exercise his constitutional rights at a random police checkpoint, making it compelling yet disturbing viewing. Ryan Scott set a camera on his car to record as he was ushered into the checkpoint. Believing that his rights were about to be trampled on, the resulting footage shows what happened when Scott asked police whether he was being detained or not. Scott writes, I was just stopped at an unconstitutional checkpoint in DeKalb, Illinois. This was Illinois State Police conducting the unconstitutional searches. You won't believe what just went down. The action begins at 3 minutes, 30 seconds in, and that's where we take you into the video. Here it is. Pulling into the checkpoint.
Evening, officer. Good evening. Before we continue, I'd just like to let you know that you are being recorded right now.
Okay, that's fine.
So I would just like to know why I'm being pulled over.
We're doing a roadside safety check.
Okay.
For your safety.
Am I being detained?
What's that?
Am I being detained?
Well, right now we're just conducting our job, making sure that everyone's on the road driving safely.
Our job.
Is that?
Yes, you are not free to leave right now.
So far, everybody's being safe. Am I being detained then?
You're not free to leave.
Am I being detained? If I'm not free to leave,
he's under arrest at that point.
Then you're suspecting me of committing a crime. Then am I being detained?
We're making sure that everybody's driving safely.
Oh, I understand. Thank you for.
No, I've explained myself.
Absolutely.
Okay.
It's prior restraint.
We do have the legal right to stop you right now.
Oh, I believe this is unconstitutional, but.
Now, like I said, I've asked you for your driver's license and proof of
You actually didn't ask me for my driver's license, but I'm actually not obligated to provide that if I'm not being detained.
You know what? You are.
Whoa!
This guy wants to attack him.
Get out now.
Whoa!
Get out now. Driving's a privilege,
Sir.
not a right. I'm telling you to get out right now.
Excuse me, I'm not.
We asked for your license and insurance. Yes, you are resisting at this point.
No, sir, I can
give us your license and insurance.
Absolutely.
As an attack dog.
Absolutely, sir. This is my license here.
Okay, now get your insurance.
Okay.
That's required by law.
All right.
Driving's a privilege, not a right.
Absolutely, sir.
And owning guns is a
I'm not going to
privilege.
sit and debate with you.
Okay, well.
And keeping your bank account's a privilege, huh?
What you're doing?
No, you know what? This is not unconstitutional. I already explained it to you. Driving's a privilege and not a right.
Understood. This is my
It's not true.
license, my
Thank you.
card.
Driving commercially is a privilege.
Drive in Illinois. Do you understand that?
Absolutely.
Do you understand
I would
that?
also like to inform you that you are being recorded right now.
Good.
Okay. Can I please shut my door?
No.
Since I'm not being detained.
No.
What am I being detained for exactly, sir? If I am being detained,
never call us sir because we're scum.
To have when you drive in the state of Illinois.
Understood.
Correct?
I guarantee you that cop
And I do ask for
gives his kid all the vaccines. He's just stupid.
I don't know. I'm looking at it. You refuse to.
You'll find out when the whole country falls.
Absolutely not. I did not refuse anything.
Is this your current address?
I would not like to answer.
Is this your current address?
I'd like to remain silent, sir, unless I have an attorney present.
Is this your current address?
I would like to remain silent, sir. I would like to exercise my Fifth Amendment right.
Do you have a more current insurance card?
I would like to exercise my Fifth Amendment right. Everything there is completely valid and legal, and I'd like to exercise my Fifth Amendment right.
Such a free country.
I'm sorry, what was that?
I would like to exercise my Fifth Amendment right.
Now the White House is like a North Korean command base.
Yeah, I have the right to remain silent.
Really?
Absolutely.
Are you sure?
Yes, sir.
Slams his car door.
Thank you. Am I free to leave?
On. Yes,
Thank
sir, you are.
You guys have a great night.
And again, the argument is they're trying to stop criminals. They're trying. I bet you $1 million, literally, because I know that they let illegals drive through there with no IDs, nothing. Just like we told you for years, we saw illegals flying with no ID. And now it's confirmed on video, mainstream news. That's discriminatory. We are seen as milk cows, and we've got to be kept in line. The big banks openly ship in the narcotics and launder the money. The government openly is run by foreign banks, and what these cops don't get is the country already got robbed. It already got destroyed. And there's a reason that if they would have pulled over George Washington like that, it wouldn't have gone as nice. And they would call him a terrorist, I guess, because he knew that a free person didn't come up to a checkpoint and have to show a bunch of papers, because that's what authoritarian countries were like. In England, they couldn't demand that of the people in 1776, but they were doing it here in the colonies, having checkpoints and demanding to see paper. I shot a video when I went to the citywide garage sale about 3 weeks ago. And it's actually on my iPhone. I need to give it to the guys and put it on the nightly news. And as soon as I saw it, the guy was from Louisiana, and he had a lot of black folk art that he collected. And it was the hand-carved dolls. Some of it was pre-Civil War, most of it after Civil War. And it was the little metal, circular, silver or pewter chits that would say the name and who owned the slave. And that was only on display. He wouldn't sell me that, but I knew immediately. I said, that's a slave ID. And he said, yeah. Most people don't know that. I said, no, I've read about these in books. I said, can I buy that? And he goes, no, that's just for display. I just, you know, I bought it from a little community black history museum at a community center that was closing about 20 years ago. And he just said, I just can't part with that and a few of these other things. And it turned out his son came over. He was a listener. I don't know why I digress off into that. But, hey, listen, wear your ID around your neck, because they'd have a little cord and a little metal thing, and they'd come up to black people and say, where you been? Where are you going? Where do you live? And even if you weren't a slave, after slavery, you still had to have those little metal chits to say what plantation you worked on or where you were a sharecropper. And I'll go further. In many areas of the South, if you were a sharecropper, you would get basically beat up or arrested if you didn't carry one of the chits as well. And so we need to do a report on that. We need to get one of the reporters. It'd probably be fitting to get Jakari to look into it, because obviously even more interest for him with such a tragic thing happening to his people. But all of us are the same people going under the same system. And I meant to do a report on that. I just took some photos and shot some quick video. And maybe Jakari can go do some research on it and go to some of these museums and connect it to how we're all becoming slaves here. And it's very offensive that cop just explosively rips that door open, explosively sticks that flashlight right in the guy's face, clearly with body language saying, I will club your head in. How dare you mention the Constitution a dirty word to me? When all we're doing is out here doing a safety check under a federal grant. And again, the state police are all out there in rock ready, drill sergeant hats and look, yeah, we're the big bad guys. We're out here keeping everybody safe. Yeah, you're keeping everybody safe. You may be out there actually stopping bad guys and stuff, but you're also out there revenue generating, and the bad guys now run the country. It's like the footage of the state police that made national attention 3 or 4 years ago out of Oklahoma. It happened a couple times in Oklahoma where you'd have an ambulance on a 2-lane road and the cops would come flying up behind them saying, get out of the way. And the ambulance can't get out of the way, so they pull the ambulance over, and the ambulance driver gets out nicely, says, what's going on? He says, get back in the car. Goes in and starts screaming at the other people in the back. There's a lady having a heart attack in the back. And the passenger gets out, the EMT, and goes, what are you doing, man? And the cop starts choking him. And the guy sits there and takes it, and they start threatening to charge him with assault while they're choking him. I mean, it's crazy. It was like Oklahoma where they called the police. I'm not bashing Oklahoma. I love Oklahoma. It's basically like Texas, or you could say Texas is an extension of Oklahoma. Oklahoma used to be part of Texas. But I saw another article out of Oklahoma last year where a 3-year-old was peeing in the front yard on a bush, and they called the police, and the cop came and threatened to arrest the dad and gave him a ticket, and that cop got fired. And that's a good thing. I mean, come on. A 3-year-old peeing on a bush, man, don't call the police. And it's not just the cop. What's wrong with the neighbor? I have been videotaping police 100 yards away. I was across the street from the, on a Sunday, nobody was there, from the Supreme Court, getting cutaway footage while I was there. And this federal police officer, he was a cop, not a security guard, runs over, super angry, and says, what are you doing filming? And I'm on a sidewalk, and I go, making a documentary, I need some cutaways. Supreme Court's a landmark. You can't film here. I was getting really angry, and as a psychological test, I just said, oh, yes, sir, I'm so sorry, you're so right. Oh, I need a permit. They don't give them in D.C. It's all a lie. I know all about it because I'd shot 3 documentaries there by then. And I went, can I please go up on the steps and get shots, and will you show me around? And he said, oh, of course you can. I mean, he was like Forrest Gump or something with a lobotomy and just wanted me to kiss his butt. Well, if you want to get a badge and a gun so you can lord over people, you are not the type of people we need in a uniform. I mean, I know most police are ashamed of this type of behavior, but I'm getting ready to throw up at this point. Steve in California, Chris in California, Eric in Florida, Wild Man in Texas. Thought that was me. Ryan and others, we'll get to your calls after the guest is on with us. They're almost for 1 segment, maybe 2, but I'll do overdrive if need be. I will get to you. I need to briefly here do some mid-air refueling. We fund ourselves selling Molon Labe, both in English and in Greek, shirts that say, come and take it. You'll meet like-minded people. You'll promote the Second Amendment, and you'll fund the tip of the spear in the info war. We have some more liberty-based Made in America brass belt buckles back in. We have the new Molon Labe T-shirt with the American flag. That's my favorite. We have the new Molon Labe hats and beanies since winter's coming. We have a lot of new products at InfoWarsStore.com, InfoWarsLife.com, or MadeIn1776.com. InfoWarsStore.com is the umbrella big shopping center shopping cart. But then you've got MadeIn1776.com, takes you right to the Made in America apparel and products. You've got the InfoWarsLife.com that takes you right into the proprietary supplements that we have, Super Male Vitality, Super Female Vitality. I'll tell you, that state police cop did not need any Super Male Vitality. But I'm digressing. That's another thing. The energy that these guys put out is male energy that's meant to fight a really bad guy. But see, it's now militarized and focused on us. It's pure tyranny. It's the plague. It's the end of the country. I'm sorry. We've got Survival Shield Nascent Iodine X2 that has just cleaned out my blood, my body, giving me so much more clarity, energy, and focus. All of your purchases support the InfoWar. InfoWarsLife.com, InfoWarsStore.com, or MadeIn1776.com, or 888-253-3139. We got super high quality, non-GMO, heirloom seeds, the lowest price, biggest selection out there. The best gravity-fed filters, the lowest price, 10% off, promo code WATER, InfoWarsStore.com or 888-253-3139. Now, your phone calls are coming up. We've got a very special guest on cell phone radiation danger first coming up.
We're on the march.